Grasshoppers. It is a magical day. Well, didn't start off too good. Wait till some people get here. I can pretend that I'm frozen right now. See if people can tell. Look like I'm frozen. We had a couple of podcasts, full change podcasts we recorded yesterday. Had some great guests. A gentleman by the name of Rob Burnett lives here in Greenwich, Connecticut. He was executive producer for like 29 years with the David Letterman show. Great guy. He's got his own rink in his backyard here in Greenwich. He has what they call the Burnett Hockey League, BHL. It's pretty cool the way they do it. Let me see here. Oh, my comments turned on. There you go. Sorry, Deb. How are you? Mary Shelley, how are you? Minzy, you magical creatures. Good morning, everybody. So we did this podcast with Rob Burnett, again, executive producer with the David Letterman show for 29 years. Some great stories of the way people are acting. I wanted to ask him who he liked the least. I thought I'd put him on the spot. Did that. Great guy, though. He's a big Ranger fan. So we talked about this being a Ranger fan and how I can't remember who it was. Somebody gave him a stick. Oh, that's right. It's Walt Kachuk. It was a great story he told about Walt Kachuk giving him a stick and how long he kept it. And ultimately, it got stolen. And then they reached out to Walt and got another stick from him. So pretty cool. Pretty cool story all around. Ron Jameson, you magical man, you. That's right, Thomas. He calls me Thomas. Yeah. Nobody ever, you know what? I don't think anybody ever called me Thomas other than my mother. Like if I did something wrong, it was like Thomas John. All right, so should we wait until Tracy gets here? So I had the bout with food poisoning or whatever it was last week, and was feeling really good. I don't know if I overdid it with food too quickly and woke up this morning and it was Niagara Falls all over again. Yeah, Susan Brooks is here too. She says good morning to everyone. When do you think Susan Brooks is going to get in a Hall of Fame? When is she ever getting? There she is. There she is, Tracy. Now we can start talking about the poops. And I was feeling really good too. And I woke up like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, what is going on? Man. Yeah, came back again. Can't be food poisoning if it comes back like that, right? So it's something else. I was thinking about you, Tracy, sitting on that toilet 2 o'clock in the morning. Woo, man. Deb sent me the audio video. She was out walking her dog and her niece's dog, I believe it was, and some little dog got loose. And we're just like, can't people? It's not bad dogs; it's bad owners. Like, let me see here. Well, there really is no update. I don't. I don't know. So he's coming into Boston for the Boston tournament. The Boston Bruins tournament. He contacted Ray Bork. So I finalized, I don't know. I don't know if there is no update. Yeah. Everyone can thank Tracy for what comes out of Tom's mouth. Oh, Tom's mouth and Tom's ass. Woo. Terrible. I didn't know if I had that much fluid in my body. But we're all done that now. All right. So again, we did a couple of podcasts. We did. So I'm sorry. We'll get back to 2 podcasts. Full change. This Rob Burnett, again, executive producer with the David Letterman show. Get to know him. He invited myself and Brendan Shanahan. So he has this Burnett Hockey League. And what happens is the players don't play all in the same team all the time. They rotate through. So then you get their stats. Then they have a tournament at the end. And when we went, they had the cheerleaders, food truck, lighting. He makes it like a very creative guy, obviously. So he makes it into adds music to it. I think. Yes, Tracy, that's your lot in life now. You are, when we talk about Tom's poops, and Tracy just comes right along in that conversation. Okay. There we go. Jack Smith, how are you doing? Good to see you here. Ledge, yes, that nickname. Oh, I'm sorry. So the other guy we did a podcast with, we tried to get him for a long time, was Don Murdoch. He's really doing well. You know, he obviously, people that knew him when he played. If you look him up, you see the stories about suspension, drugs, and alcohol and all that. And it's interesting. He realizes how much he can help other people. He doesn't enjoy talking about it necessarily. He doesn't just brag about it, but he doesn't look back at that like, well, that was a lot of fun. He looks back like, geez, I let a lot of people down, and he's really cleaned himself up now. Looks great, healthy, clean. So good job. Creepy. was not creeping on the cheerleaders, Ira. I'm not you, all right? Dougie DeVito, how are you doing, brother? Good to see you. No, Deb, that's the thing. I don't think I have. I don't know what it was. Again, I started the Sunday night. I went down the Pride Parade down the city. It was packed. Everybody was on top of somebody. So I have talked to a few people who have Freds or themselves were sick. So I'm assuming it's just some bug or something. They were just around, packed on top of each other and got sick that way. I'm assuming that, but let's see. Fantastic, living the dream over here. Yes, you are, you poop master. It's amazing, yeah. Don Murdoch, great guy. Everybody, I don't really know him that well because I didn't play with him, but everybody I ever talked to just thought the world of him. And he, talked about like his first. I don't know, he had like 16 goals in 16 games or something at the start of his career. And all, the regret he does have is that, who knows how good he could have been that he, but again, one thing about it too, he talks about is the truth, that, oh God, Dougie DeVito and Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Doug. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So he talks about how good he, that's what he's regret. It would have been interesting to see how many goals he could have scored had he really kept himself clean. I mean, but it doesn't seem like he's living in regret. Like it just bothers him. It's just, it's the past. The thing was back then too, and there's no excuses for him, for me, for anybody that played back then. It was a beer drinking league. The team supplied the beer for us. That was part of the culture. And there was no place to go. You couldn't even talk to a team, your best friend. If you had some mental health issue or needed help, you didn't. You couldn't talk to anybody because your fear was now, okay, I've worked all my life to get to the NHL. Now people are going to think I'm some kind of a nutcase or something. And obviously we know that's not true now. And players have a lot more resources to get help. And again, we're not blaming anybody when we say that. It was a thrill to play in the NHL now, then, whatever it was. So, Danny Erickson, hi. Oh, goodness. Chief Excrement Officer. There you go. That's Tracy, CEO, Chief Excrement Officer. I like that. Deb, good job. Should make it the Doug and Tracy show. Doug, sometimes I wonder, like you turn on me sometimes, I did not see that Tarasenko switched agents. Not unusual now. It gets more play if it's a bigger name player, but players are hopping around from agent to agent. So I think we covered this before in the show where the NHL Player Association has a standard player agent contract. That's between the player and the agent. Obviously, you cannot change the language of it. You can't even reprint it. You can make copies of it. That's it. Because what it is, and it says that if you sign that contract, the player signs a contract and the agent signs the contract, whatever the agent negotiates for that player, the player has to pay his fee, whether it's a 3% or 4% or 5%, whatever that number is. If you don't have the contract, technically, a general manager is not supposed to negotiate with that agent unless he has got that agent signed contract. So obviously Tarasenko's contract had expired. His player's contract had expired. Therefore, the player agent contract is expired, and he would have had to sign a new one. So obviously, he did not re-sign with that old agent and got a new agent. So, but again, I did not hear that. But again, it really doesn't come as much surprise. It does happen a lot more than you know about. But again, typically it's not the higher end players that are doing that. Jack Eichel changed agents as well during his dispute with the Buffalo Sabres. But in that case, he was still in the middle of his contract. So as long as they had signed that player agent contract, that old agent would still get paid for the remainder, whatever fee he had for the remainder of the contract. I don't know. But then the new agent, I don't know what deal they have. So obviously he would sign a new player agent contract with a new agent, but that agent doesn't necessarily have to get paid. So it's an investment in the future, right? Assuming that Eichel will be still a great player down the road. Let's see here. Tracy will soon need an agent. She's getting more coverage than Tom Dunn is on the show. No kidding, right? And I'm feeding into it too. I'm making her famous. It's a Chief Excrement Officer, CEO, Tracy Murray. Deb, that was a good one. Let's see here. Tom, when I make it big, you're my agent. I no question. I'm here for you. You know what? I do it for free. Just the thrill of doing it. To be able to tell other people that I'm Doug DeVito's agent. Yeah. Let me see. He was supposed to be signing with Carolina, but wanted Rangers for less, and he went to Pat Brisson. Pat Brisson, Brisson, excuse me, works for CAA. Came here to the States, great friends with Luc Robitaille when Luc came to play. But he didn't just ride on Luc Robitaille's coattails. He wanted to work on his own. So CAA is what IMG used to be. And then I worked for IMG, and then left and went back on my own again. So Pat Brisson stepped in and took my job when I left and went back on my own. I mean, he's really, but a great guy, really respectable, honest guy, really works hard. He's been rumored to be a potential GM in a number of places, but I think they said, listen, I'm my own boss. I'm not going to work for a team. And he's doing so well that, and this is what happened. So now he's built such a reputation. Jack Eichel actually went to him as well when he covered his old agent. So he's building that reputation. It's built already. So he's getting players coming to him. So let me see. I'm the queen of dysfunctional. Oh, here we go. I'm the queen of dysfunctional dipshits. That's another way to put it, Tracy. I don't know if we had to go that hard. That's kind of hurtful. So you're calling me a dipshit, is what you basically call me. See, if in your day, if drafted and one doesn't show up for prospects camp, what happens? There was no prospects camp. We had I think when I came into camp, it was one big camp. Now, so just to be clear, so if the players that were just drafted in the draft, all that really means is technically that player's rights belong to that team for a specific period of time. If you're a college player, your rights belong to it. And once you leave college, then I think the team it used to be 180 days to sign that player. If you didn't get him signed 180 days, he was a free agent again. In junior, I think there's you go until you're done with your junior. I think you're 21 year or 20 year. I'm not up on the new rules as much as I was in the past, obviously. So again, you really don't have any obligation to that team. They just own your rights. Now, if you want to have a future in the organization that asks you to come into some prospect camp, you should be doing it because you start saying, I'm not coming. And again, technically, that player does not have to go. He doesn't. His rights don't. Excuse me. His rights belong to him. Now, once they sign a contract, that's a whole different story, obviously. Then now he's obligated to do all the things that he's required to do per that contract. So, see, Danny, what is this? She's better looking than Layla. Well, different looking, that's for sure. Let me see. Everybody's sucking up to Tracy. I heard a Rangers player filed for arbitration that opens up a second buyout window for the Rangers, and Seiko might accept a 1 year with the Rangers. I heard a Ranger player. I haven't seen the list of arbitration cases. Typically, it's only like, I don't know, you get about 30 or 40 players filing for arbitration, and usually only about 10% of them go to arbitration. I'm not certain about opening up that second buyout window for the Rangers, but you sound like you are on top of that. So, that obviously popped up, right? Where, as a player, he was the captain of the team. So Wheeler was signed by the Rangers to a 1 year deal. I think it's like $800,000. So it's a low risk deal. If it doesn't work out, they could jettison him and he's gone. And so I like it from that. Same with Jonathan Quick. I think they signed about 7 or 8 guys, all to 1 year deals. Now, again, me speculating. It looked like, based on the way things went in the playoffs against the Devils, I think Chris Drury took a look and said, we need to address our character issue. So we brought in cup winners, veteran players that have been leaders on short-term deals, which is smart, but based on it for the cap and everything. So it really, they must have, and again, I'm speculating, they must have said, okay, we have some dressing room issues here. When the team played the way it did, listless and no fight back. Remember the one game in New Jersey where Goudreau, one of the big defenseman for the Devils, was running around and Goudreau grabbed him, got a good fight with him. Then he turned and yelled at the bench, come on, let's go. And nobody really did anything after that. And so that kind of stuff happens. Wheeler, I'm assuming somebody knows Wheeler in the organization, or they've done their homework on him, or both. Because yes, those rumors that James Patrick mentioned. I mean, that's how the hockey world looked at it. And again, so I don't know the player, but it does seem that they made that decision. And again, he was captain of the team. So at some point, the players and management or both had decided, listen, he's the leader of this team. So. Again, I don't think I know for sure the Rangers would not make that move unless they really done their homework. And again, it's a short-term deal, $800,000 for 1 year. It's nothing. So let me see here. If you're Tracy's agent, how would you sell her to a potential suitor? Well, like gritty, right? Not afraid to like stand up and throw some punches. Doesn't back down. Maybe a little hot-headed, right? He flies off the handle a little bit, based on what I've seen. But so that would be it. I mean, so it'd be an interest. Tracy would be an interesting player to want. Like she definitely changed the locker room, how people act, and again, it could be bad in some cases. Guys have to have thick skin. Like that's how I survive with Tracy picking on me the way I do, the way she does. So yeah. Let me see. Tom, I was looking. You played 10 players. Yep, and you had 7 points and 27 pyramids at 56-point pace. Oh wow, interesting. Yeah, so that was a big moment in my life, obviously. So you dream all your life playing professional hockey, and our senior year in college, we went all the way to the national championship. We were ranked number 1 in the country. We lost the final game. It was in Providence. I already knew at that point that the Rangers were going to bring me in and sign me to a contract and send me to New Haven for the playoffs. So to finally get that opportunity to play pro hockey, man, that was huge. And it was big for me too, because I realized, man, I got to go back. I need to. These are men. I need to go back during the summer and really get myself in great shape for training camp next year. And I did that. So that experience, I can't even remember how well or poorly I played. It was just more the experience of playing pro hockey, the whole thing. And then I went and get the bus the first time. The guys threw me off the bus because I didn't have my own cooler of beer, like stuff like that. It was kind of, it is men. These aren't college kids playing anymore. These are grown men, wives, and kids. So yeah. So we turn into a cage match with Thomas. Well, yeah, and do you think, Barry? Like, give me your honest opinion. Don't you think I'm doing everything I can to not get to that? But it's like Tracy's mission in life is to constantly berate me and like those long, the multiple vowels and like stern messages, like kind of lecturing me. But let me see here. What have you seen? You only interact between 12:39 and 12:57 p.m. I don't know what. See that? I don't know. Man. How's your how's your online dating profile shaping up? Perhaps Tracy can edit it for you. No shirtless pics. Online dating. Oh, goodness. Parker McDonald. That's right. Was that my first coach? That's right. It was. Yes. It's just that old school. Man, back then it was, a 45-minute practice, save drills every day. It was, practice was, it really wasn't much. They just looked at it. Listen, hockey's hockey. Let's go out here and skate for 45 minutes, get off, and get ready for the game. So, let's see here. So, Barry Shelley's. Tracy's a 5-1 favorite. Wow, Barry. That hurts. You see here, Jack. Top thoughts on Laviolette as new coach. So he's one of those guys that's interesting, right? Like you could call him a retread or whatever. He's been around a lot. He's won Stanley Cup there in Carolina. Obviously, he's a good coach. It appears that people respect him because he keeps getting hired all the time, but he keeps getting fired too. But I've said that before, and I think more than anything, that's more of this statement of the game the way it is. Coaches are getting hired, fired all the time. I mean, Cassidy, has great. I thought had a good run there in Boston for whatever reason. It looked like the players didn't want him as a coach anymore, based on the rumors out there. And then he goes and signs with Vegas and wins Cup first year. So, I just think, listen, the players have to go play. Coaches get way too much credit when they win, and they get way too much blame when they lose. The players have to play, and you have to have the right players in the locker room. I think that's what Drury has addressed with some of the grittier veteran guys that he got. There's a danger that the team's getting older, but again, those guys are on 1-year contracts. And the hope is that the kid line will now step up and play better. They did not take a step forward, at least in the playoffs last year, and that has to change. Because a lot of the future for the organization, they'll talk about this team not just being good right now, but being good down the road, is based on those 3 good young kids. It's high draft pick. So, if Laviolette does well, it's because the players play well. He's a good enough coach, but he coaches the same way and the team doesn't win, but that's going to be because the players don't play well enough. He's the coach. He is what he is. He coaches the same thing with Gallant. He coached the way he coached. So, And in the end, the way things ended, and then again, there's a lot of rumors about him and Drury, Gallant and Drury, not get along or whatever it was. So, don't understand why Goudreau gone. Yeah, I don't either. That's the kind of guy. To me, what the Rangers need is, if you look at the winning teams, like the way Vegas pounded Tkachuk, and there's, to me, the MVP of the playoffs. I can't remember who got the MVP, but Stone, that Stone for Vegas. I'd want 20 guys like that on my team. Obviously, the skill is great, but competitor, and grind it out, nasty if you have to be. Like if you line up, you look at the lineup at the start of the game, and you say, "Oh God, I've got to go play against Tkachuk." No, I mean, Tkachuk too, but Stone all the time. Like Herb Brooks always put me against Bob Nystrom all the time. It's like it was an honor, total respect for the man, but it's like, man, this is gonna be fun. It wasn't fun. It was, again, looking back at it, it's like the real honor that the coach felt that way about you to put you out there against that guy. So, let me see here. Debbie. Donnie Erickson, if it wasn't online, there's no excuse for them losing. Let me see here. Did you ever envision doing a sports talk show with Kotze? Call it True Grit in the Buffet? No. I don't think we'll be doing one with Kotze. Kotze and I just look at things differently. That's all. It's not that he's something wrong with him or I'm better, he's worse, nothing like that at all. He just has a different outlook on life. Let me see. Yeah. There's tenacious Tracy Marie. Yeah. Tough Tom Laidlaw. Tenacious. Yeah, I think tenacious is a good word. Oh, yeah. I missed what you were talking about there. Danny Erickson, if it was online, there's no excuse for them losing. Yeah. So we're going back to Danny Erickson's daughter taking that test. She went through a lot to get that test done. And for them to say that, you're right, Deb. Yeah, Deb's the security expert there, so she'd know better than anybody. Yeah, it's never, even if it wasn't, man, how do you lose a kid's paper? All the stuff these kids are going through. How do you lose the test? Let me see here. I'm reading this. Dan Muse is a good development coach. Hopefully he can help the kids. Yeah, here's the thing for me. Since I got into all this, the mental health stuff, hypnosis, meditation, everything, to me, when I look at those kids, again, never spoken to them, I'm just from a distance, again, especially how hard they played in last year's playoffs and then how things just didn't go well for them this year. To me, it's more of a mental issue. The skills there, the size is there, everything. It's having confidence, that drive, the desire. And no one too, and I learned this too. It's you make it to the NHL, and then you kind of sometimes players kind of have that attitude. Well, I made it, so I'll just kind of kind of walk through this. But you look back and you don't want to waste a moment, right? Like that last year's playoffs, like it was a great moment for them. And they didn't win it all, but those young kids played hard. The team played well together. Shesterkin pulled his game back together. I said, okay, now we're taking a step forward here. And that didn't happen this year. Again, regular season was fine. It's just playoffs. And that's when it really counts, obviously. Right? So, let's see. I hope they bring James Patrick into a coaching staff. He too, his team. Yeah, listen, a lot of it is, it's not always this way, but a lot of it is a head coach being comfortable, both personal relationship and coaching relationship with the other coaches. So it's like who like Gerard Gallant was like that. He has his guys that he brought along with him, and it makes sense. They spend a lot of time together. They have to trust each other. The assistant coaches have to know what the head coach wants without even going to ask them. You coach a certain way. Gerard Gallant coached a certain way. Peter Laviolette coaches a certain way. So he brings his guys with him. Let me see. Let me see here. But you still have time management issues. I have time management issues. Oh, I see. Are you going back to me talking about? See, okay, here it is. Right. No support whatsoever. Maybe I just needed a hug at that moment, right? But instead of getting a hug from Tracy, I get maybe ask for a refund for therapy. Oh my God, condescending, right? I just watched a video actually of a guy talking. Who's the guy that used to be on CNN? He had a big afro now, but he was did a late night show, and I saw a video of him talking about how men just need a hug sometimes. Yeah, just about a hug. like a virtual hug. Jeez. Let me get this straight here. Let's get one thing straight here. K'Andre Miller is very good. Yes, and he will get better. I did not realize this until this past season. So I'll put that back up there, Trace. Susan, sorry. That was only his 5th year playing defense. Big man like that. I mean, he will get better. Big guy, skates, shoot. Would you like him to be a little bit more physical? Yeah. It doesn't seem like that's his nature. And again, the game has changed. It's not about banging people all the time, but it's more angles. So, yeah, no, he is a very good defenseman and will get better. Yeah. How about podcast with Joey Chestnut? Kara says how he started. Okay. And let's get something straight here. This is what do you call those messages? I'm doing this for the people. Okay. Hot dogs are terrible for you. We glorify the eating of hot dogs. Got terrible trans fats in it. You might as well be smoking a cigarette. They should be having a cigarette smoking contest instead of a hot dog eating contest. And people think, well, I'm not fat. Well, it's the hardening of your arteries that makes the hot dog so bad, right? So we should not. I would have him on and I'd chastise him a little bit. Like, Joey, you need to do a public service announcement. That's what it is. Maybe more than anybody, if Joey Chestnut did a public service announcement, say, listen, this is my career. I'm a professional eater. I'm not going to be a professional eater. But hot dogs are not good for you. Terrible. Tom, I still think Philip Heel would be better as a winger. To me, not as a center. Yeah, I like Heel of those 3 guys. I think he's developed more and shown more. Yeah, some of that is who else do you have, right? Be better as a winger. It could be, Jack. I'm not arguing. Not saying you're wrong. It's just some of it is like. And he seems to have this attitude, like, coach, just put me on the ice. I don't care where I play, center, left wing, right wing, put me on play. I have all those 3 guys. I like his game the best right now. He just seems like mentally that he's got more drive than the other 2 guys. Okay, Dr. Ruth still. Let me see here. Is Dr. Ruth still alive? She may be alive. Dr. Ruth. I don't know if she's still alive. Let's get one. Let me see. Tom, your full change interviews with Tom are excellent. Where's Bubba and Nikki? So Nikki has won't come on for whatever reason. Maybe we should shame him a little bit, get him on. Barry Beck, we did a show with him. He was over in Hong Kong, actually. We may have to redo it because the connection was bad because he was so far away. But he was doing much better. He's been very public about his, he's had those addiction to the sleep pills. He's really cleaned himself up a lot better, a lot sharper now than he was when I saw him at the golf tournament back in September. Oh yeah, he's doing well. Let me see here. A hug again. If it's in the 17 minutes you're between harassing Pepper and your bathroom bouts. So I think I did bring this up. So Pepper's mother, I yelled one time at them. It's going on for years, this story. I'm not supposed to have the dog tied up out front. Now, she came over, stormtrooper. Like she was, I'm going to wait till Tom's coming home and I'm going on a mission. I'm going to talk to him. And I felt bad. She had lost her husband recently. Her son is suffering from depression. So she's going through a lot of stuff. So it ended up good. I said, listen, I do a lot of stuff in the mental health field. So I'd love to help your son in any way. If you need help, please let me know. So it became a meeting of the mind. So it doesn't happen as often. But again, it's clear at our lease. You're not supposed to have the dog tied up out front. Or outside your residence, which Pepper is. There should have been back in the day for defensive. What's interesting? So Kenny Moore was a year older than me. So we played college against each other. He was at Bowling Green. I was in Northern Michigan. And we were in the Central Collegiate Hockey Association. So they pick an all-decade team for the 70s. And the all-decade team, the 2 defensemen were Tom Laidlaw and Kenny Moore. That's pretty cool. I'll never forget. This is when I thought I was the toughest guy in the world. And he wasn't a fighter at all. They came up to Marquette, Michigan to play us. And he was a big man, right? So I'm thinking I'm going to go save the planet here. And so I go over to him. I says, if you try something tonight, I'm going to finish you or something like that. And later I realized he never fought at all. It just wasn't his game. Where I was trying to be a tough guy, but the guy never dropped his gloves. Well. Ira Matthew. is winning a face-off. I think you're focused. No Ranger team lately. It's both. It's technique. The good face-off guys practice it a lot, but it's focus. It's determination. It's telling you I'm going to win this face-off, and a lot of times too, it's wingers coming in and defense coming in and helping too. Like sometimes it's you're up against a real good face-off man. You just try to tie him up, and then other people come in and get the loose puck. So it more times than not, it's just a centerman, but probably a third of the time, it's everybody else coming in and helping out too. And they'll talk about that in advance and say, "Listen, I'm having a hard time with this guy, or he's really good, so I'm going to tie him up, and you guys come in and get the loose puck." But again, everybody knows that's happening. So it's determination, focus. I mean, sometimes there's battles for the puck. So yeah, but I do think that's one of those things you can control, like more practice time on faceoffs, and it is an important part of the game because that's control of the puck. So. Dr. Ruth was my college professor at Brooklyn College. Tracy, I got an A. Really? Come on, you're saying that. A for absolutely. How's the diet going, Ira? I'm very proud of you. You've done well. Your diet, your health. When do I get the feeling that Gauthier and the Islanders is going to come back to haunt us? It could be, yeah. Oh. Let me see here. Tom, you should shake Pepper's paw in college. Yeah, I agree. Well, basically, it is a truce. His mother and I have called it a truce. I think we say hello to each other now. Very cordial relationship. Barry Shelley, of course, has done his homework. It's either Susan doesn't do homework. Susan does. It's Tracy doesn't do homework. It's either Susan or Barry that do the homework. She's 93. Not sure. Oh, Barry. Let's see here. I had a good conversation with Brian Boyle. He was one of the best. He sold the technique was more knowing that the linesman would drop the puck. Oh, interesting. That's a good take. He was a good face-up guy too. My son's friend is Gauthier's double. Oh, I didn't know. Okay. Let's see. In baseball, sometimes catchers, cathers. I know you make catches. I got to give you a hard time. I can't let that pass. Right. Sometimes those cathers. He's a catheter. I'll talk at a batter to get him off. Yeah. Oh, no, there's a lot of chirping going on. Yeah. Used to be the guys could use their glove and their skate and all that. They've got away with all that stuff too. Ira's lost 21 pounds. Very good. Got nose surgery done. Part of that off. Oh, that's funny. Okay. The way Nicky is dressing, maybe he's too swanky. Well, he has a new wife. And I don't think it's a coincidence that his wardrobe has changed since he's got married. And very often, like a good wife does, I think she's protecting him too, thinking that, he should get paid for his opportunities that he does. And our podcast is pro bono. Again, I'm speculating. So let me see. Yeah, good job. Thanks, Deb. See, Deb's good. Like there's Deb. Positive, reinforcing, cheering each other on, right? Tracy would have said, well, why isn't it 22? Right? That's probably what Tracy would have said. Why didn't you lose 22 pounds? Right? That's what it would have been. Woo. Okay. So I had to make sure too before the timing of my poops. So right before the show started, I had to go make sure that everything's all cleaned out. Hopefully it will last. Talking about poop. Oh, goodness. Yeah, if I jump up and leave really quickly, you guys will know why, okay? I'll be back. Won't take long. Just flies out of there. Man. I gotta go to the store, get some saltine crackers. That's one thing, things that I eat when I've got a little case of the Runaways. Saltine crackers. And I get this hydration drink. It comes in little packets. Mixed with water, obviously, from Costco. It's a little high in sodium, a little high in sugar, but for the purpose of hydration, I think it's pretty good. Let me see. Was there a woman that won that? Tom is going to stay clear from that woman who won the Coney Island hot dog eating contest. I didn't know there's a women's division. I didn't know that. God, hot dog. If we knew, see, education is the key to a good, healthy diet. Understanding what foods are good and bad. Any processed meat like that's high in trans fat. And again, you could be a skinny person. I think, I had one friend of mine said, well, I go for a 2-hour run after I have my hot dogs. I said, well, that doesn't make a difference. It's those hot dogs, you just grind them up, put them in the syringe and shoot them right into your veins there and clog the arteries up and get to the hospital, plug yourself up to a machine because you're about to have a heart attack. Pretty simple. Tom's poop on things. Man, there's been a lot of poop lately. Oh, man. A lot of poop. So again, thank you very much, everybody, for watching our Full Change podcast as well. It's on all the podcast platforms. That's going well. We had, again, great guests on yesterday. We had Rob Burnett, who is executive producer of the David Letterman Show for 29 years. He lives up here in Greenwich. He's got his own rink in his backyard. Real big hockey fan. Not very good player, but he loves the game. He's got the BHL, the Burnett Hockey League. A bunch of local guys play in it. He had myself and Shanahan go to the championship game. Probably like, what was that? Was it 10 years ago, maybe? And it was pretty fun. Cheerleaders, food truck. It's got a beautiful like stone building that they use as the locker room to change and everything. It's pretty cool. Let's see here. We did Derek Sanderson's podcast. Part of the issue sometimes it's just an age thing. It's an age difference. The older guys aren't really savvy technically, so sometimes they get on and they really don't have a good signal, or so again we did Don Murdoch yesterday, and his signal, he's out in British Columbia, I think he was, and so his signal there's a delay. So you'd ask a question, then you had to sit there for 5 seconds with this dead air. We can edit that out, so you probably won't see it during the podcast. But Brad Park would be a great one to have on. Man, he's the kind of guy, you ask him one question, he'll talk for a full hour. Pete Stemkowski, have we done him yet? I don't think we have. We definitely want him. He's a really good speaker. Yeah. Larry's on today. No. I think Larry was having some PBRs the other night. He sent me some picture of some record album or something. I don't know. It's something like, use the word, the P word. And I'm not quite sure what he was up to. You can tell when he's had some PBR. So, yeah, I have never, you know what? That's a good point. We're having Gresh is coming on. He was busy all month of July. So we can get him on. Joe Gatton, that'd be a good one. Yes. Let me see here. We owe Tracy for all this talk. Thanks a lot, Instigator. Yeah. Oh, yeah, she does, right? She instigates. Do you think, you know what she does? Like she probably like that really, like, I can't wait. I'm getting on Tom's show today, and I'm really going to stir the pot. She probably says that, right? I'm gonna have like multiple vowels, like no, N-O-O-O-O-O-O-O-O. Then if capitalizes sometimes to really accentuate the statement, right? And I think she says too, I can't be positive. I can't be positive. I can't be positive. Like with Ira, losing the 21 pounds. Deb's cheering him on. Great job. Tracy's probably sitting there going, why didn't he lose 22? Yeah. Steve Vickers. Yeah, it was hard. But that's the thing. It's hard, especially with with just the audio version of the podcast that we're doing now with Full Change. If they can't get on and hear them properly, it is funny because they won't know whether they're on for sure or not, and they'll be yelling to their wives, "Honey, get over here and help me." Or usually it's the kids too. The kids get on and help a lot. Sarge is a good man, funny man too. Okay. She's throwing a curveball at us. She didn't want to do this. I know she didn't. She did not want to do that. That's not what her MO was. So here we go. We got to look forward to something else. Something else is coming, right? And again, it probably should be picking on me. But that's fine. There he is, Brian Duffy, our veteran. How are you there, sir? Good to see you. Happy 4th of July. Still think you should consider doing a show that helps new gym or users understand how to problem. Yes. Good point. Excellent point. Right. Yeah, I do those stories and reels where I show myself working out too. Maybe I should spend more time really talking about the exercise that I'm doing, explaining what I should be doing. That's a good point by you. Got a new young guy. You guys remember way back a long time ago, we did a video with a young guy. We were doing an arm wrestling competition. He won me. He was funny. He won me. He beat me. And he was dancing around. So he's a good little hockey player. He's big now, 14 years old. So we got a little gym here in our complex. So we've been going to the gym after I get back from my gym in the beach, 7:00 in the morning. He's working hard too. He's really getting into the mental part of it, like fighting through and everything. So that's a good point by you, Brian. I like that. Thank you. Jack's is like, what? I just want to talk to Tom about hockey. Well, I'd gladly talk about it. Tracy, you want to talk about hockey? We talk hockey all day long. Oh goodness. And yes, yeah, you get a little intense. You got to get into it. Every rep counts. Every rep counts. Mary Shelley, what do you got going here, Barry? If you were on the show Big Brother, could you imagine being in the same apartment with Trace for a week without leaving? Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, you imagine, that's a good point by you, Barry. Like, and she'd be just like fired up too. Like she'd go, okay, now is my chance to really do some damage to Laidlaw's brain. See, is it My Neck of the Woods? Really? Huh? That's interesting. Nobody invited me, Danny. Apparently, I was not invited. Where did that name come from? My Neck of the Woods. I can get the woods part of it, right? Because way back, I mean, there's all woods and everything, but Neck of the Woods. Huh. I get that was it used to be a word that you use for a certain part of. Focus, Tracy, focus. No, I left a message for George. He's a busy man, so I don't forget back. And we talked to each other a long time. I think back when I was in the agent business, we spoke last. But congrats to George. Yes, you know what? He's gonna come down as one of the best GMs ever. You look at all the stuff he did in Washington. Obviously, Brian McClellan finished that off when they won the Cup, but they put this team together in Vegas and have them win, in 6 years, which the owner predicted too. So, yeah, wow, man, crybaby. Wow, hold on, let me get to Brian Duffy. Let's come back to that one. Let's analyze that a little bit. I'm down 38 pounds. Good job, Brian. Intermittent fasting, eating clean, walk. Good job by you. That's fantastic. A lot of discipline. Let's see if Tracy says anything nice about you. She'd probably say you should be 39, but that's, let's see. Ha. Oh, ha. Look at that. Ha. Like she's growl going, ha. Stop the madness. That's capitalized, right? So here's what she's done. So she's got a like big, so we have to picture her saying, ha. Like she's mad. Like you can't believe this is still going on. Stop the madness. Right? You crybaby. Wow. Man. Some venom in that statement right there. Venom. Yeah, so Tracy and Danny Erickson will be hanging out today, but I got no invitation whatsoever. When the rules change in the Beach Dogs, they're going to leap out to Tom. Yep, they will be. I'm bringing a bat this year. I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to send a message out there. Dog comes near me. It's baseball time. No, I can't hurt a dog. Hit the owner or something. Let me see here. No, I enjoy everyone's post. I'm into the Rangers since 1970. And my late cousin Richie was in Fergie's book on 5P. Oh, Fergie called Richie his best pal. So I bleed red, white, blue. Very cool. Yeah, that's cool. You see here. Brian Duffy, way to go. Keep up the good work. Good job, Deb. Yeah. Let's see here. McPhee had skill, but leaned heavily on his toughness. It was interesting. Somebody was talking to me, said they talked to George one time, talking about his fighting. And he really believed that if he didn't fight, he wasn't good enough to play in the NHL. I'm paraphrasing when I say that, but he believed he had to fight. Helped that he was a pretty good fighter, too. Really good. Let's pretend I'm an avatar. See that? What is an avatar? Is it one of those people with big ears or something? Different colors, like they're blue. So Tracy's going to get dressed up in one of those uniforms with big ears, be all blue. Pretend I'm an avatar. Let me see here. I always like turning away to this therapy session. It's true, right? Like therapy, like for bowel movements and mental therapy. Right. And you're like us too, that, I think we can all feel comfortable that we can open up and be vulnerable, right? That we won't get picked on, like Tracy won't pick on us or anything like that. Can you imagine if I was vulnerable in front of Tracy, the things he'd throw back at me? It would just be destroyed. Good job, Duffy. Always good on the heart, losing a few pounds. Oh, okay. So see, she really elaborated there, right? Like, good job, Duffy. Like their buddies, they call him by a nickname, like Duffy. Always good on the heart. It's not just good job. She has to really go overboard now because of my criticism towards her. We can read into it. Yep, read into it. So when I got to get some saltine crackers. So I had a choice. I can go to CVS, which is closer, or I go to Stop and Shop. Stop and Shop's more fun, like more action going on, people. But again, we got that issue. I have to poop before I go to make sure everything's out. Let me see here. What a great life story. Yeah, he's good. Those guys that have gone through a lot of stuff and are now back helping other people, particularly kids, are great stories. My back was a mess, but my back was a mess. And it was my own fault. I was stubborn. I was like, I'm not getting on the trainer's table. I'm not getting therapy. I'm not changing my workouts and all that stuff. Now I do all kinds of core exercises. My back is fine. So my bad back, going back, it was totally on me. I've told the story many times. Great guy, great coach, Rick Wilson. Had been a coach with the Kings. Fantastic guy. He really cared about me. He'd skate around with me before practice all the time. But Culver City was with the Kings. And he's like, Tom, you got to change. You got to change. I go, nope, I'm not changing. Right. So that's right. You're a cardiology person. Huh. Good to know, Jason. No, it's kind of, I've come to realize like July and August are pretty quiet months. But again, I'm kind of the last minute guy too for our great friend Jackie DiPiazza, where, because I'm single, kids are grown, live in the area. So if they need me last minute to do something, I can do that. So usually there'll be stuff coming up, but it'll be last minute. We do have to go. Jackie actually is getting married August 25th, going to that wedding down in southern New Jersey. So that'll be fun. She's a fun person. That'll be a good wedding. Let me see. Trisha is elect in the way that we need them these days. Okay, let's come back to that. Yes. Stop and Shop. What is the robot that wanders around? Like, what's the purpose? Like, somebody's trying to steal food or something? Pretty interesting. I'm going to try to chase it down one day. See if I can knock it over. Tracy Me is an intellect in the way that we need them these days. Intellect. Oh, Danny. Jeez. I don't know what to say about that, Danny. You flip-flop sometimes like back end of a ping pong paddle. Always wonder, what is your mood every week before you come compared to your mood after the show? That's a great question, Barry. I love doing these things, as you know. It's a lot of fun. We've all become kind of friends here. We talk about very intimate stuff. So yeah, I do. I get fired up for the show, and then after I'm done, I'm still kind of fired up. Yeah, I get fired up for our podcast too. Having interesting guests on. I you know what is anytime you do it more often, you get more comfortable too. Like if I do like the MC of that Skate with the Greats there for the Ronald McDonald House, I because I've done it so much now, you're much more comfortable, so you enjoy doing it. You look forward to doing it. And for a cause like that, it's a great cause. You're raising money, and the people that are running it are very thankful. Like, Tom, thank you very much for doing it the way you're doing it. You come back next year and everything, so you feel good. You've done the job that they want to get done, and so yeah, it's fun. I like these things. Here it is. Susan's done her homework. The woods comes from the colonists in early America, a strip of land. Tom, do you take any supplements or protein shakes, etc., with your workouts? I'm same age and areas that works for you. I do. So when I get in the morning, I take an amino energy drink. I got it initially at Costco. I get it at Amazon now. It's made by Optimum. So it's got all amino acids are really good for you. So it's got amino acids in it. It's got green tea caffeine, which is supposed to be a cleaner. I take also with that, I take some beta alanine, which is kind of does what creatine does for you, but it's cleaner. It doesn't have all the stuff. It's just that beta alanine. It's got nothing else in it, no flavoring. I take citrulline, which is another L-citrulline, so that makes it another. Does it make an amino acid? I think it does. So I mix that all together. The multivitamin, matcha. So that's what I have before the drink. That's my pre-workout drink. Gets you fired. It doesn't get you all jittery and everything. Then when I come home, I have a shot of ginger and turmeric. So I have fresh root ginger. I juice that up in my juicer, and then I buy this turmeric. See, turmeric is apparently hard for your body to digest. So you have to have something in it that helps your body digest it. So there's a liquid turmeric I get from Costco. So I mix those two together and have that. Then my smoothie that I will have has avocado, banana, sea moss, and collagen peptide and protein powder. And I also mix that organic chicken broth in with it. So really good. Again, my bananas, I put them in the freezer. I get them frozen, and they've got the skin on it already. Skin's got way more supplements in it, the 30% more nutrients, excuse me. And once you blend it up with the blender, you don't even know it's there. So that's what and then it's just regular meals in there. Although lately it's been a lot of saltine crackers and something to drink. So Tracy and I are going to the wedding. This Tom, need a date? I'm available for weddings. Well, we really need to have a meeting of the minds, though. Like, how's this going to go? Like, how, am I going to get reprimanded the whole time? Elaine, you're going to take Elaine to the wedding. Issue number one. So people that don't remember, people that don't remember. I'm having a hard time today. So Elaine and I were on Survivor together. Yes, Ira, I was on Survivor, and we hit it off. She's an old farm girl from Kentucky, and I grew up at the farm, so we hit off with pals. So we were doing a show every week, and she was getting married. This is during the pandemic, and they wanted me to come and speak at the wedding, which I was more than willing to do. I then found out that Kentucky was one of those states that if I went to Kentucky, when I came back, I'd have to quarantine. And I couldn't quarantine because I'm out doing all this stuff all the time, even during the pandemic. So I had to call them like 2 or 3 days in advance to listen, I can't make it. Well, she thought that I was, I think she really believed this, that I had no intention to ever going to the wedding, that I was just messing with her, which was not the case. So she was not too happy. We did a few podcasts together after that, but the relationship was damaged beyond repair at that point. So Tom Knuckles had on Jay Miller. He and Dave Brown were great guests. I hated Dave Brown. I have to see him on Chris Nye. Yeah, he's actually a really good guy. I know what Ranger fans don't like Dave Brown at all, but I did actually see Chris Nylands. We're going to try to get Jay Miller. I played with Jay in LA, so we're going to get him on the show as well on our Full Change podcast. Funny guy. One of the best scenes ever. Wayne Gretzky never usually lost his temper, but I've told this before, people haven't heard it. So we were playing a game in LA. We're playing well, and we had a veteran team: Larry Robinson, Dave Taylor, myself, Timmy Waters, all older guys. So the coaches really didn't have to come in and say anything. We knew we were playing bad. And Wayne had stayed out for one of his famous 3 or 4 minute shifts. And Wayne would do that. And everybody knew Wayne was not being selfish when he did that. He really thought he had something going for the team. So he'd stay on for that long shift. Nobody else could really do that because it's just, first of all, we're going to last. And you had to get the next guy on. So, but with Wayne, it was a given that was what he did. And it was fine. Everybody understood it. So come in the locker room, and Jay says, what do you say? He says, maybe we should stop staying out there for those 3 or 4 minute shifts. Obviously making the comment towards Wayne. And the locker room just got dead quiet, and we're all waiting to see what Wayne's going to do. So he gets up, goes over and throws his gloves and stick in front of Jay. He says, listen, you take these if you think you can do any better. And so he did lose his temper, but it was like 15, 30 seconds. And he regrouped, went over, grabbed the stuff, and says, come on, let's go. We kind of laughed at Jay, him in the pads. You just don't say that kind of stuff to Wayne, right? We all know that he's the only guy in the league that could do that, the 3 or 4 minute shifts, and that's understood. He's Wayne Gretzky. So, let's see how bad it was. How bad are the energy drinks? It tastes great, actually. If you get the amino energy drink, again, you can go on Amazon to get it. It's by Optimum. It tastes really good. You get different flavors. There's orange. I use the orange one. There's grapefruit or something. There's all kinds of different flavors. Get the flavor you like. And again, you can put different levels. Like I use 3 scoops. You could use 1, 2, 4, whatever, how much you want. It doesn't make me. It makes me a little jittery later on in the day. It's weird. Not right when I take it. It's more later in the day. I get a little shaky hands a little bit. But let me see. Okay. First of all, okay. So she says she cleans up nicely. So we're going to the wedding. She's going to be dressed nicely. Okay, that's a positive thing. There's a positive statement there, right? But then now here's what she does. Elaine is a smart girl, referring to the fact that Elaine got mad at me. We don't do a show anymore. So this is what if we went to the wedding together, this is what I'd have to expect, right? That's funny. Hold on. Sorry. Tracy, you have to get time to wear something other than black. I don't think I have a suit. Do I have a suit that's not black? I think I have a pinstripe suit. I have a dark blue suit too. Interesting. Does it have stevia or aspartame in it? I don't believe it does, Deb. I think it's pretty clean. But I don't know for sure. I'll have to check all the ingredients. Yeah. Okay, look at. Is this the treatment throughout the wedding? I mean, a wedding is a sacred, solemn, touching thing. You go to, you cry. Maybe I might cry at the wedding or something like that. And then she'd be standing beside me, calling me a baby while I'm crying. I was talking about those drinks that are loaded with caffeine. Yeah. So again, that's something. Like Red Bull is terrible for you, right? It's got it's caffeine and sugar, basically. So yeah, really read the ingredients of these drinks. If you see a bunch of stuff with words you can't even, repeat or speak them properly. So I believe that I've been taking this for a long time. I enjoy it. But again, talk to somebody else, they've got their favorite. Again, the amino acids are really healthy for you, just your overall health. So I try to get a lot of, there's the BCAAs, the branch chain amino acids. That's what I call it. The people use a different term. Apparently I'm hearing more and more now that those are not as good for you, but there's a whole bunch of other amino acids that are very healthy for you. So let me see. Yeah. Chris told a story of a summer hockey league near Boston and how Fatu intimidated everyone. Jim Miller says Nikki still intimidates me. I'm shocked. I remember that. Yeah. Well, Nikki's got that thing, man. He's just, he's a proud man. He gets into a fight, he's going to win. Right? Everybody loses fights, but yeah, he's a tough dude. Good guy too. Great teammate. Like he's just a really good, fun guy. Fun guy. He's a mushroom. It's a mushroom again. He's a fun guy. Oh, Jesus. So Tracy me saying that I wouldn't cry at the wedding because it's not about me. Man, I've been thinking about my 2 divorces. What was I thinking? Like, what was I thinking getting married? You only care if it's about you. Oh my goodness, that's just a terrible thing to say. Can you ask are there any thoughts on MSG starting a Hall of Fame? There are several players worthy of recognition whose numbers are retired. Huh? Such as Greshner. I have not heard that. I will ask Jackie that stuff. I have not heard any stuff like that. But part of what happens is a place, especially like MSG. So there's so much going on with the Knicks, Rangers, Liberty, concerts. They have like over 500 events every year at the building. So obviously doubles at certain days. So it isn't a total like a lack of respect. Like, okay, it's a matter of somebody taking the initiative to say, listen, we need to start a Hall of Fame when there's so much else going on at the Garden. Not that it's a bad idea at all. It's just that I've seen that's what happens. It's just so busy, and then there's like events that they have away from the Garden. We were at that dinner at Tao downtown the other night. They've got to put that together. They have to have somebody be at that event. So it's a great point by you, Susan, but it's just, let me see here. I can't read half the ingredients in the drinks. We'll have to have Tracy tell me more what they are. Tracy's Barry. I know what you're doing there, Barry. Don't think I don't see this. I can't read right through you. Just wanted good news, everybody. We're closing in on an hour. And apparently right now it does not appear that I need to go for a poop right now. I was thinking after about an hour, I probably would, but it's a good sign both for this show and for the future of my poopitation. Okay. Just thought I'd inform you guys that. Tracy's smart. Gosh. I don't know. You know what I should do? I need to be careful here. I shouldn't get caught into Tracy's trap here. I get drawn in with all the negativity. Tracy is smart. She's a very intelligent woman. Yeah. Deb's very smart. Susan's smart. Mimsy's smart. Everybody. Lorraine's smart. Where's Lorraine? She's not here today. Oh, this kind of hurts, but let me see. Let me see. Tom does that stuff from Nugenics. Well, that's supposed to be to boost your testosterone. Yes, it'll work a little bit. So everybody understands. So as you get older, your natural testosterone level drops. It's just the fact getting older. I believe, like a lot of others do, that that causes a lot of other health problems, particularly aging problems. You lose muscle mass. And now there's a big debate about testosterone replacement therapy. If it's done properly, if you go to a doctor, get your blood levels checked, and again, you do it with the doctor's permission, you get a prescription for it. It's all legal. They send it to you. I believe that testosterone, for for people, again, once they've got tested, if they're, so let's say your normal testosterone level is about 600 or 700. If it drops down to 150 or something, yes, you now you're at risk of causing more health issues because your testosterone level is so low. But that kind of stuff that Frank Thomas endorses, it could help it a little bit, but it's not going to help it. Like, if that scenario where it drops down to 150, it's not going to bring it back up to 600 or 700 points where it should be. But the natural testosterone injections will help that. But again, it's got to be done properly. You don't do like 10 cc's a week or trying to become a bodybuilder. And some bodybuilders do that. This is like 1 cc a week to slowly get your testosterone level back up. Now, what you do need to be aware of, the theory is that if you're injecting testosterone into your body, that now your body stops making its own testosterone. Now, there's medications you can take to help reverse that, so your body still continues to make testosterone. Some doctors recommend cycling on and off the testosterone. And again, I want to be very careful. I'm not telling everybody they should do it. If you feel like you're sluggish and you're getting older, but again, it should only be done through a doctor that sends you a prescription and everything. Sometimes you can go to a gym and there's always a guy, somebody at the gym that can get you testosterone. You don't have to go to a doctor for it. You don't know what you're getting really. Again, you haven't had your blood tested. You don't know how much you should be taking. So I want to be very careful. I believe in the benefits of it if it's done properly. So, okay. Let me see. Barry Shelley, yes, real smart, interacting with this crap. Man. Can you imagine going to a wedding with Tracy? Like, you got to drive there first, attend the wedding. It's a joyous event. Interacting with this crap, and then I get my name, so I'm basically crap to her. What she's saying in that statement. Man. I think that Tom should pick a spot in the area where we can barbecue and all guests on this could attend and their families. That'd be fun. That'd be a fun time, yeah. So I think a lot of people it seems like they're out in Long Island, right? We got a lot of Long Island people. Barry's up in Cooperstown. Deb's out in it's awful. Kansas. I'm sorry. Deb out in the Midwest there. Tracy will be in the hot dogs, yeah. She probably will. No, you know what? I'm going to be positive. I'm not going to get dragged in there. No, she's way too smart for that. Best to do under doctor. Tracy will be in the hot dogs. Best to do it. Yes, absolutely, Deb. No question. Yeah, you don't. Again, for most people as they get older. Again, if a doctor says to you that your testosterone level is low enough, part of the issue is with some doctors, they just don't believe in it. Now, this is terrible to say. Again, there's a lot of doctors, they're fantastic people. But I assume there's some doctors that don't want you to be healthy, right? They want you in for visits all the time. They're making money off you. The pharmaceutical companies are making money off you. Hospitals are making money off you. So I don't know. It's got to be a doctor that believes in testosterone replacement therapy. Not that you have to have it, and he's pushing it, but he has it. Some doctors just won't even accept it that it's an option for somebody. The doctor has there's all kinds of remedies out there for aging to help you with that. But again, the aging, it's exercise, it's diet, it's your mental health, all those things. Tracy, are you willing to dance with Tom at the wedding? Oh, Deb, you're stirring pot a little bit. Ken R, how you doing there, brother? Yes, it's a $50 fine for not being here on time. Okay, but we'll let you away. This is the first notice, so you get away with freebie on this one. Okay, what do we got here? Hey, Tom, don't take any supplements given to you by Bonds. Yeah. I had a player once. It was during the summer. He really wasn't taking the steroids to get better as a player. He wanted to look good during the summer at the beach and everything, and get caught doing it. But it was back when the league did not have any restrictions against that. But he was trying out for an Olympic team. And that's how he got caught. So there's no penalty to him. He just couldn't play for the Olympic team, but he had a ban for 5 or 6 years, I think. Jack Smith, please watch his podcast with Mark. This covers Tom's testosterone crap. Wow. Gee, what? Oh, we're definitely going to the wedding then. We need to bond. It's some bonding time. Let me see. My youngest sister applies and has been doing it now. My flexibility has improved at 61. It's low impact. Yeah, Pilates, yoga. I don't do enough stretching at all, but it's great for you, especially as you get older. Yeah. And I preach it, but I don't do it as much as I should. So, with this heat, have you resisted putting, no, AC has not come on yet. Actually, Tom Smith was over yesterday. We were recording some podcast. It wasn't too bad. He was whining about it. Like, oh, it's sweltering in here. Oh my God. Anybody that says, man, don't say sweltering. It's a little warm. It's mind over matter. I still wonder if my wife would dance with Tom. She likes me now, though, doesn't she? I won her over. Oh, there he is, little whiny guy. Yeah, he was whining about the heat in here yesterday. But yes, good point by Tom Smith, the producer du jour. Please go to our Full Change podcast on Apple and leave a review, like, share, listen, talk about how great I am on the show and how Tom really just kind of drags me down, but I fight through it. Let me see here. $50 fine lateness. What would you do? I think that's what it was back then. It was $50 fine for you to be late for practice. You want to get Tom on? Are you sure, Barry? Are you just being nice? Like you feel bad for him? Or do you really want him on? Okay, if you say so. Tom Smith. People actually like him. Huh. I guess you can't explain everything, but walking is underrated. Walking, oh, absolutely. Walking, to me, one of the best ways to lose weight. Like if I go in the city, I'll take the train into Grand Central and walk to my meetings and all that kind of stuff. That's a guaranteed way to lose good weight. Yep. Hey, Tom, I love how he busts you on. Yeah, but I let him, right? I mean, it's like one time I was playing against Bob Nystrom and I went to hit him and something after the play goes, I let you hit me. So, okay, Bob, thank you. And the same thing with Tom Smith. I let him bust mine because if I came back at him, he'd be whining and crying. Yeah. Okay, let me see here. Tom has no rhythm. He can't count on 2 and 4. Apparently, you have not seen some of my dancing videos, Tracy Marie. Think we should have Tracy on a show? Wait, Tracy and Tom, give it back to you. It would be. Maybe we'll do that. We'll have a show. We'll have Tom Smith, Tracy, and we'll see who wins. We'll see that. Yeah. Happy birthday. Happy BD, Dougs. So, see, okay, there's a few things here. First, like Tracy's going to show that she's just too busy to write out the full happy birthday, right? Then it's Dougs, it's not Doogs. It's not Ron, right? Because she wants to show that she's close with him and everything. So, oh, who's this wonderful creature here? Yes. Now there's the better half of that relationship right there. Tom Smith's lovely wife, Christine. You like Tommy Smith, do you? All right. We'll keep him, but let me see here. Tom, you're really getting beat up today. Thank you, Jill, for being here for me. I clean up nicely and would happily dance you the way. I even throw in hugs for good measure. Wow. Yeah, there it is. There's an ops. Thank you, Christine. Jill, that's very nice of you. Yeah, there you go. There's a sweet, wonderful person. That's the kind of person I want to spend some quality time with, right? Cares about my feelings. He's there for me. Oh, I like it. That would be interesting to get to Ted Sater on, given the way I've talked about him. Actually, I went through my phone numbers. I've got Mike Keenan's phone number, Ken Hitchcock's phone number. So we're going to try to get them on the show, too. I'll roast them a little bit. See how I like it. Although, apparently, Ron Dugas especially tells us what a nice guy Mike Keenan is now. Yeah, right. Oh, goodness. Yeah, very silly. Tom can't dance like me. Yeah. Dan Erickson said that. Okay. Let me see here. Ted Sater, Mike Keenan, Tom, you can call him. They suck like Dave Maloney. Hated Scotty Bowman. That would be funny, right? Because I've carved him enough times. Get Mike Milbury on too. That'd be funny. Let me see here. You better end the show with this high note. You better end the show. Oh, end the show. I'm sorry, I missed that. Yeah, on a high note. Well, I don't know if that's. I'll do my best, Barry. But I mean, sometimes there's some of the things. Just want to make sure you have time between 12 and 1 only. Wow. Unfair, Jace. Unfair. All right. Okay, hold on. Okay, so Danny makes a nice comment. Girls are flocking to you, Tom. Okay. And then Tracy's got to come back. He flies on poop. Oh, just not right at all. So we got to end this on a high note. How do we do that? The high note is it appears the pooping, the Niagara Falls coming out of my butt has stopped. So I'm going to go to Stop and Shop and get some saltine crackers. Now, the other option is saltine crackers that have salted or unsalted, right? So I probably shouldn't take the salted ones because I'm thinking that hydration drink that I have has got high level of sodium in it as well. So let's stay away from the salt. So I got to go to Stop and Shop, get the saltine crackers. Yes, Jackie, it's going to be at 10 o'clock every Thursday now. Yep. And I'll do my best. If for some reason we can't do it that day, I'll try to announce that in advance. Phil, what's up there, brother? Hey, ladies, Rick Coleman can certainly. Interesting. Dance? Is that what you're saying? Rick Coleman's man. So that was my college coach. He's now the athletics director out there. Great man. Made a huge difference in my life. Didn't know at the time what a big difference he was making, but yes, he did. This is like the stock market. It goes up and down with the insults. Yeah, right. And always directed at me, right, Barry? And you sometimes, Barry, can be involved in that as well. Not all the time. No, I can handle it. No, Deb, that's a good point. I should go to H Mart. Yes, I have been over to H Mart. I've gotten away from the sushi. And that's why I was going over, but it's got a lot of other really healthy foods too. A lot of different vegetables. Is this true? Let me see here. Get low in salt Ritz crackers. Oh, I love Ritz crackers too. Oh, so that's not going to affect my stomach, right? I got to make some ginger tea as well. Ginger tea. Get some powdered ginger, some tea bags. Oh, Wally Mart. I may go over to H Mart. I love going to H Mart. A lot of great foods. The dating game. Do dating game show with Tom Smith hosting. Oh, that'd be funny. You're pretty funny, Christine. Very funny. Yep, we're going to get Gresh on the show, Jack. Thank you very much for the compliment. Gresh had a busy month of June, so he's back in town now. I think he was up with his sisters, had some big celebration for their anniversary or something. So he's back. So we'll definitely get him on the show. That'll be interesting. The funny thing is, too, because it's a new show, but we know each other so well and know all the little stories and everything, but we've got to go retell those stories again. So Tom Smith will love that. Oh, jeez. All right, so we're all going to try to get together for barbecue this summer, right? So we got some people again in New Jersey. Yeah, well, Tom Smith and Christine, they're in New Jersey. Tracy's out in Long Island. Susan's in the city, I believe. Jack Smith, where do you live? Barry Shelley, you got him up in Cooperstown. Maybe we can get him down here. I don't have one in the Midwest. Yeah. No H Mart. Or Walmart. Went to Target the other day. I was bored. I went to Target. They built a new Target in Portchester. So I'm going to go check it out. So it was uneventful. Very uneventful. Getting worse about my fear of heights. They had an escalator. It's a 2-story, and they got to go up the escalator. I was like, what is going on here? Jackson, Georgia. Oh, man. So I guess we could get people that are local, and I guess we could go live and do like a virtual barbecue, right? We could do that. You could always just come right here. Go to Todd's Point. You can't get into Todd's Point unless you're a resident of Greenwich. Get smuggle you in. All right, everybody. That was a good show. Thank you for sticking up for me. The attacks, Tracy, Jill Solomon, you offering to go to the wedding with me, like warmly offering to like a hug, just somebody just close to, How about getting Steve Carlson from Slapshot and Kings? Yep. Keep sending those suggestions. Yeah, we want to keep getting. Obviously, we're going to do 2 shows a week for unlimited amount of time here, so we need more guests. So we're going to try to get some more guests too that aren't really necessarily players like this. That Rob Burnett that we had on yesterday. He's a big hockey guy. He loves hockey, but he's really successful in his business world. And again, he was great talking on the show too. Like really, there was no special gift he had. He's being humble, but he was more talking. He just grounded out all the time, and it got that similarity between athletes and people that are successful in other areas of life. Thank you, Christine. Yes. Yeah. again, I do just like once a month, just get a hug, right? It's the only thing you need. I'm fine. All the way these people pick on me. So, all right, everybody, great show. We will see you next week again. We're going to make this a regular thing, 10 o'clock on Thursday mornings. I will do my best. If for some reason we can't do it, I will make sure I let you know. And I like the idea. We should do a virtual barbecue. To get the people together that are close here, but then we'll just have other people virtually join. So, all right, everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Stay dry and cool. And remember, watch the Full Change podcast. You should listen to the Full Change podcast on all podcast platforms, particularly on Apple. Like, share, comment. We want to be the #1 podcast in the world. We're coming, Joe Rogan. We're coming for you. All right. See everybody next week.